Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, and today we are going to do the maintenance course for the platform administrator certification. So if you have already done this certification, then only you need to do this, otherwise you do not. And if you want to know that if this maintenance is due for your certification or not, you can just go to your profile and click on this Salesforce icon or this profile icon, and then click on profile, and there is a list of certification, and if there is a complete maintenance button is coming in front of your certification, then you have to do this, otherwise you do not. I'll paste a link of this module in the description box, so click on it and let's start. So I'll be starting this, and we have only one unit in this, that is maintain your platform administrator certification for spring 26. So I'll open this. In this we are having certain checks for what is the new in this platform administrator pass, or what new features we can explore and perform as a platform administrator. So being an administrative often requires certain things like going to the setup, going to the profile, permission sets, giving certain permissions and so on. So now it has been become little bit easier by doing it with a fewer clicks, or we can have a conversational chat with the AI. So that's how we can do it. We can even have the access to the metadata previews, list views, and record details at inline. We can troubleshoot configurational issues. We can manage the users. We can configure permission set groups, sharing rules, and the organization wide defaults. So we can create custom object and field and certain other things. Let's move forward. And if we talk about the permissions and prerequisite, so if you want to utilize the agent AI or the agent force in the Salesforce to perform all these things, or to get the help from it, so we need to have certain things set up earlier and certain permissions as well. So first of all, agent force should be enabled in our org, then Einstein generative AI should also be enabled, and data 360 should be set up in our org. Then we should, or our user should have the required permission, such as the agent force permission, execute prompt template permission, and to have the access data 360 default data space. That's all. So if you want to know that how we can enable the agent force from our setup or in our org, we have separate video of that as well, to have the free agent force org, or how to enable agent force in our org, that you can refer. Otherwise you can just go to the setup and search for agent force, and then you can see the agent force agents, and you can click on enabled on that. Now we'll talk about one other feature which has been introduced in this release for administrators. So they have introduced the easier submission approval procedure, so which can be added to the record pages, and there is no required of the custom buttons. So earlier, if you know that we used to have one button that is submitted for approval, and then only the approval process should trigger. So now what we can have it integrated with the auto launched flow, that is the standard flow provided to us by the Salesforce, which will allow the approval submission, and it will be very consistent and easier. So it has some standard screen, you can utilize that, or otherwise you can have it little bit customized as per your CSS or styling needs. So we can have these submitted from record pages. We can add the first approver by providing it into the input variables. We can allow or hide the submission comments as well, and we can support approval submission in both the Lightning App Builder or even the Experience Builder. So that is a step up. And then if we talk about the first approver selection, so we can have that. We can design our flow approval process to accept the first approver input variable and assign the approval steps accordingly as well. Similarly goes for the submission comments too. So there is an option if we don't want the anyone like who is approving the request to submit their comments, we can hide the comments by selecting the hide submitter comments. Otherwise, we can have it and then utilize it in efficient way. Now, there's another feature that is tailor screen flows to your audience with component level styling override. So we can have the background color, border color, weight, and radius. These are the some of the supported styling options we will have now in the screen flows. We can have the text color and the formatting, button styling and layout as well. And we can also apply the styling overrides to some of the screen components such as checkbox, variable like field, things like currency, number, date and time, display text, long text area, pick list fields, radio button, checkbox group, password, and other sections and repeater as well. So these are the things. We can just go to the screen element in our flow builder and then select the screen properties and then select the style tab. You can see here that this is the component we are having and then the screen component. So there is option of background color, border color, radius, finish button color or radius, border weight, things like that. We can set it up as per our needs. Now, if we talk about that, flow is the key usage in some of the project, like because it is a drag and drop tool, only click based tool. So if you want to monitor the logs of flows in one place, so how we can do that? So flow logging is available to us by the Data 360 cloud. So it collects and stores flow execution metrics. So once the Data 360 is enabled in our org, so it provides the performance data which will help the administrator to analyze how flows behave in real time. So what we can do, we can set up the Data 360 and enable the flow logging. We can go to the profile and then enable the certain permission, and we can even review which flows are currently logging data or even track their performances. So then we can have the flow log tab where we can monitor all of this. So it will be enabled to us in Lightning app. You can see here the flow log is a tab, and then we are having option which is which flows are having the logs enabled, and then we can track those logs. Now, one other feature we have, that is allowing more users to delete file. So for that, one permission has been introduced, that is a user permission. So when the user is being allowed to delete the files, so there is one permission, that is delete Salesforce delete Salesforce files permission is there. We can enable it from our profile or the permission set, and then it will allow us to delete the Salesforce files. So the user can only delete those files which they have the access to view or things like that. Now, if we will come to the quiz, our first question is, what is a key benefit of using setup with Agentforce for Salesforce platform administrators? First option is, it replaces the need for setup permissions by automatically completing all configuration tasks. Second option is, it allows administrators to complete common setup tasks using natural language while staying in context. Third option is, it enables non-admin users to manage org configuration without additional access. And the last one is, it automatically deploys metadata changes to production without review. B option should be the correct one, as using the Agentforce with natural language, we can stay in context as well and then allow the administrator to complete the common task. Now for the second question, what must an administrator use for the request approval component to function correctly on a record page? First option is a classic approval process and a custom button. Second option is a workflow rule that triggers an approval process. Third option is a screen flow embedded in a Lightning component. And the last one is an auto launch flow approval process configured with input variable. The last option should be the correct one. Next question is, what is the key characteristics of component level styling overrides in screen flows? First option is, they permanently replace your org's global theme across all Lightning pages. Second is they apply only to experience cloud sites and not lightning experience. Third option is they override the default theme for the specific screen or component where they are applied. And the last one is they require custom CSS and developer tools to configure. So C option should be the correct one. Fourth question is what is the primary purpose of the flow logs tab in the automation lightning app? First option is to debug flow errors by editing flow logic in real time. Second option is to replace flow builder with performance optimized automation tool. Third option is to automatically optimize flows without administrator involvement. And the last one is to enable flow logging and monitor flow performance from one location. So last option should be the correct one. Now fifth question is what does the delete Salesforce files permission allow a user to do? First option is delete any file in the org including files they don't have access to. Second option is delete only files they personally uploaded. Third option is delete files they can view which was only available to admins previously. D option is delete files only when assigned a system administrator profile. So C option should be the correct one. Let's check. So all questions were correct. We have correctly answered, and that's how we have completed the maintenance module of the platform administrator certification Spring 26 release. And if you have liked the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. And stay tuned for more. Thank you.